Hey, girl. Hey.
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 Hey. Hey. Hey.
Hey.
Juice box is up. Juice box is up. We are ready to go in. I got the juice box. You can't see it in the virtual background, but it's there. It's there. Welcome to the Hey Girl Hey podcast. We have a special show tonight. We got two Hey Girl Hey spotlights. Starr Essence joins us today. She is the founder and president of Morningstar International. We're going to talk more about that. Also talk about her book called Guide Me to College. And it's 10 vital steps that every urban youth needs for college and not just high school, like 48-year-old women who need to finish the grown people. And then we have the Finesse chick. The Finesse chick is back. Naomi Ritter of the Finesse Institute. She's the founder of the Finesse Institute. She's going to talk about World Food Day, which is happening this Saturday. And the Eat Initiative is doing big things. If you are not on social media and you've not seen all the posts about World Food Day, if y'all don't know this, you must have just got out of prison or woke up from a coma, because let me tell you something. Eat Initiative has been posting everything about World Food Day. So, right, you're not gonna miss this, not this time. So here we go. Let's get introductions out the way, and then we're gonna get to the hot topics. I'm your radio chick, Kiki Brown.
And I'm the chatter chick, LaShawn.
And I'm your millennial chick, Jeer.
Let me tell you something before we get to hot topics. So I'm out with Jerry at a breast cancer walk, and one of my sorority sisters.
I got breath.
There's like 100 breast cancer walks. So one of my sorority sisters was like, I was introducing her, and she was like, "Oh, that's Jeer. I know Jeer." I was like,
oh, that's me, y'all.
Jeer. Yeah. She's gonna be 85 years old. And they be like, Jeer.
In the wheelchair.
I know.
Hey, taking puffs of oxygen. Hey, Jeer. Holla at your boy.
I can't.
Oh my
God. I'm glad we're laughing, because this story, the first story we're going to talk about covering hot topics. I laughed at the Netflix special called The Closer. I thought it was funny, but some people out here that share the air with us do not feel it was funny. Netflix was in a lot of hot water. As a matter of fact, thousands of Netflix employees have threatened to leave their jobs as if they were working at the Dollar Tree or the Burger King. They was like, "We quit. We don't think he was funny." I thought he was funny. Netflix's CEO reportedly doubled down, according to the Huffington Post, in relation to the Dave Chappelle comedy special, sent a memo out to staff saying like, okay, we know a lot of you have left angry. I know you've been disappointed or hurt, but the closer didn't believe that the content directly translated to real world harm. Maybe because I am not of the community, and I look at Dave Chappelle as just this a-hole comedian like Michael Shea, and so you kind of expect that. But I get why people were upset. I actually saw a woman in the crowd was like, man, she was pissed.
Yeah, of course.
It was like, I mean, she was right in front, like, you ain't funny. You ain't funny. So, I mean, did you see The Closer on Netflix? What do you think? Do you agree with the employees? You think Netflix should pull it? Dave Chappelle doesn't care. So, Chatter Chick, you tell me, because Jer didn't see, she don't watch the stuff we watch because we old, and she only watch YouTube. She only watch YouTube. So
I watched it. I watched The Closer, and Dave Chappelle is by far, when they call him the GOAT, he is the GOAT of comedy, because his comedy makes sense. And he starts from it's like he writes a book. And he starts with the beginning and he comes with the conclusion. Its conclusion is always good. Now, when I saw this one, I knew people would be offended. He made some offensive comments, like, I'm not going to tell the show, but he said the reason that he, lives in the place in Ohio that he lives in. And he says because he thinks the women are beautiful and beauty is subjective. And he says, well, quite honestly, I like, white women with dirty feet. And, so that would make people be offended. But I thought that was funny, yeah, and
But not white people, not white women with dirty feet. They were mad about it.
White women with dirty feet are not going to think it's funny. I thought it was funny when I first listened to it, but it could be hurtful. But when he brought it back around to, things that have happened to him and like the races that made him feel a certain kind of way, and he even brought it back to the LGBTQ community, how they have, said that he was degrading to them. He even explained that. I thought he did an excellent job. And of course, with every comedian, everybody gets offended. Everybody gets offended. But Dave Chappelle is not called the GOAT for no reason. He is the greatest of all time when it comes to comedy. He's one of the smartest.
Care. He said,
that's why
I'm the one that walked away from $50 million.
Boom.
I'm the one. If there's nothing that I've never been through, like if you think I've never been through anguish or hurt or whatever, I'm the one that walked away from $50 million. Like I'm that guy. So I mean, but I guess you have to be a part of the community. Naomi, Starr, what do you think?
I have yet to see it, so I can't really comment, but I agree with LaShawn, the chatter chick, that it's hilarious. He's a funny comedian and people should take him for who he is. He's a comedian. Like that's what he does.
Naomi looked like she. Oh, I thought you were about to say, I don't think he's funny. That's the kind of thing.
So the thing. So here's the thing. When I was younger and he was doing a Chappelle show, I was like on my super black power, like that's not funny. You're trying to be a slave. Blah 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 blah. But then as I got older and I was like, I just sort of chilled out a little bit. I also realized like he really does talk about everyone. He talks about everyone, and so it's like I can empathize with people who are in the LGBTQ community and how they may feel offended, but at the same time, he talks about everyone. And so it's like, it's kind of a struggle between don't be so sensitive and accept him for who he is. He talks about everybody. He talks about everyone. And, like you said about him saying he like white women with dirty feet. He loves saying how he has an Asian wife and, talking about how just he's, felt embraced by different cultures. But just like you also said, he's a comedian. He's the one who walked away from that money. He's the one who walked away from all of that. And one of my favorite lines that he had said in response to the backlash was, he was like, y'all cancel me on Twitter. Twitter's not a real place.
Yes.
We forget that.
It's not real. Twitter's not a real place.
It's not a real place. So that's like, honestly, if you don't like them, just don't like them. But just honestly, I think, the main thing that really had me sort of thinking was, I forget who it was, but someone had said, and it may have been Chappelle himself, had said, y'all are more concerned about the fact that I'm talking about these type of jokes versus like someone like the baby who killed someone. Oh, it was about the baby.
It was Dave Chappelle.
Saying like the baby took a life, but he took a black person's life, and everybody's like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. But as soon as he starts making these insensitive jokes, towards the LGBTQ community, now everyone wants to be up in uproar. And I think that's really where we need to be leaning into, like, because that's true. So.
That's true.
And he said that. So he says, it will, if you were part of that community, well, maybe, I don't know, but it'll make you feel some kind of way when you think about it, because the baby killed someone at a Walmart, a black person, but he makes these statements against a group of people and he's canceled.
Yeah.
I'd say neither one of them were right, but he killed somebody.
Right.
That was not a big deal. That was a lie.
And he also rapped about it in his music too, So another thing I had noticed that Dave Chappelle had said, he was like, if this is what being canceled feels like, that means I love it. Doing something right. And going back to what you said about the Chappelle show, I used to watch his show all the time and I thought it was, and he would talk about everybody. He talked about black people, white people, but there's humor, and that's why it's comedy, like, and now I think now in today's society, people are more sensitive than back then.
Super sensitive.
Super more sensitive. You can't say anything, and so if that, if that's the case, then don't watch it. Just don't like it.
So here's the thing. And so we've had representatives from the LGBTQ plus community on the show. Shouts to Ciora Thomas from Sisters Pittsburgh. And you know, that young lady is very passionate about her organization. You can't come not a near nut a sideways about the LGBTQ plus community, like not even a lighthearted joke, because you're tired of being the punching bag that is so easy for society to make jokes about us. And, you know, just like we're not going to allow a white person to call us nigga, but it's okay for a Black person to call us nigga. It's like, no, it's wrong, period. And so where this community is saying it's no longer funny, even if you don't mean it to be, it's not. And so I get it, but I didn't think that that's where he wasn't coming from a malice stance. He wasn't coming from a place that caused harm. He was telling a story, and that's what comedy is. It's storytelling. So, you know, I get both sides, but it really, but then there was a trans.
A trans comedian who was like speaking in defense of him.
What is his name?
Daphne.
No, he had a friend. Daphne is the one that passed away.
Right.
But there was another person who's out right now and was like, he did not do anything wrong. Like, leave him alone, let him go. So
he essentially told
Dave Chappelle's gonna be fine.
And you know what that makes me think of? Remember when everybody was up in an uproar when Kirk Franklin was wilding on his son, but his son was being disrespectful? And so now everyone is like, oh, Kirk Franklin, you can't talk to your son like that. Nope, that is his son. That is his business. So it's kind of like, you just gotta, you know what I mean? It's like give and take. I don't know. It's
we
weird.
give social media a lot of power. A lot of power.
I think people are just being extra sensitive right now. It's a lot of sensitivity. And I'm like, if you continue to, you know, damn the comedians for their storytelling or just telling jokes, I don't even think comedians will be around come 20, 50 years from now if people continue to be sensitive.
Exactly. Yep.
People forget their jobs paid for, you know what I mean? And like you said, it's not coming from an intent of harm, you know what I mean? Like, it's, you know, I don't know, maybe like you said, if I was a part of that community, I could probably, empathize better with it, but I have to watch it for myself. But just in general, he's a comedian. He is the greatest of all time.
He's gonna be okay.
He's gonna be
he's gonna be okay. I want to
say is I also think of how, you know, people try to put responsibility on people like a Cardi B or even a Lil Nas X in terms of their music and how appropriate or lack thereof it is. And what do they say? I'm not responsible for raising y'all kids. And so it's like, sometimes, you know, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it is hard when you say like, oh, you're being too sensitive or not sensitive, because you can't always tell someone else if they're being too sensitive, but at the same time, you have to have that accountability within yourself to say, you know what, this is harmful to me. So I'm going to walk away. I'm going to go into a different direction. Like, don't put it on the other person. I mean, unless they're invoking harm, obviously, or they're violent. But it's like, at what point do you regulate yourself and say, you know what, this is not the comedy that I would prefer to watch. You know what I mean? Like, don't be mad at me. If I'm Cardi B, don't be mad at me because you're letting your children watch whatever, listen to whatever.
I just want to say, to those thousands of people who want to walk out their job, you are not going to get unemployment.
You're not.
I'm just saying.
Sorry.
If you leave, you will not get unemployment benefits. So I really
you know
think
what? That takes one of those. Let me holler at you. Don't do that.
Yeah. I just don't watch Dave Chappelle anymore. Just don't watch him. All right. So
don't leave your job.
That's it. No.
It's a joke. It's joke. That's why he said it's the closer. He said it during that comedy thing.
He don't have to. This is it.
I'm going there.
It's a wrap.
He said, if you see me walking, and he said, if you see me shopping in Walmart, then my career didn't go as that fine. But you will never see him in Walmart. He's paid.
Exactly.
But he could go there if he wanted to. And he could buy Walmart if he wanted to.
But you're not going to cancel him.
He got money. All right.
He's not cancel.
Let's get the Who the F Cares news. So this is the part where we just talk about these news stories that people were double tapping on social media as like, why is this news? Who the F cares? So one of the stories was Megan Thee Stallion has teamed up with Popeyes. She's purchased a franchise and she has her own hottie sauce.
All right, Megan.
You say potty?
That's my girl. I support her.
What'd
I'm
you
gonna
say?
get it.
Hottie sauce.
Did you say potty or hottie?
Hottie. What is
Oh,
a
potty.
potty
I thought she
sauce?
said hottie.
At first, I thought you said potty too.
Okay, it wasn't just me. All right, it wasn't just me.
Hottie.
But
Hottie.
I was like,
Hot,
what?
hot,
The
hot.
heavy eight.
The hottie sauce.
But wait,
You
I'm
know
mad that
what we
LaShawn was
did?
like, yeah.
Yeah, because I thought you said potty, but I knew
Yeah,
it
I
was
heard
a
potty.
hottie.
I was confused.
But I
Sweetie
thought-
did that too with McDonald's. She got a
Yeah.
sweetie sauce.
But
There
she
might be
didn't
some in
buy.
there.
But she didn't buy a franchise though.
No.
Now, I am proud of Megan because she brought a franchise. She didn't let them just put her name out there on a hottie sauce. She bought a franchise.
Yeah.
That's business. That's business. That's leveraging yourself.
That's
So
smart.
I like her.
Yeah,
That's
Megan's
smart.
smart.
And for
Yeah,
Megan,
Not a Lone Star, not a PF Chang's. Popeyes
Yeah.
though.
people love
Hey, they run out of
I'm not
killing
chicken
our people.
sandwiches.
They killing
If I
our, they
had
killing our
Popeyes, they would have
people.
all the spicy fish sandwiches.
They killing our people, man. They run out of shrimp too much. Like it's just too much. Too much.
The line
The
be
line
so
is always long. Always
It is
long.
it.
long.
is.
And they'll never have
Yes.
nothing.
No.
And they always run out of chicken wings, or they always running out of fries. They always running out of
She
like
mad. She
That's a
mad.
good. That's a
Dear Megan.
Yeah, one
They
time
always
in
be
front of
running.
Popeyes.
they always be. I don't understand. Get
They
it
do.
together.
Dear Megan.
I'm gonna have to write a review. Do not go to this one. You know.
Who do I go?
That's
be
good.
sliding
I
through her
mean, you have a
DMs.
business. Don't slide through Jerry's DMs about that. Don't do that. Don't slide through her DMs. But that's good. You have a business and you're always like, it's not good if you're always running out, but the lines at the Popeyes, I mean, that's such a good buy. That's such a good, if we were to put our money together now, the five of us and just buy a chain, hey, I will talk about it offline, but I'm always with it.
I'm not doing that.
Hold on.
One thing. So Sharon
Sorry,
Osbourne is
you don't wanna
very
be rich.
upset. The former talk show host from the talk, Sharon Osbourne, is upset, and now she's pointing fingers. Not sure if this is real or not, but she's saying Cheryl Underwood, my so sweet, was ordered to undergo anger management for being rude. She was rude to staff at the talk. She was rude. She was rude. She was rude. But guess what? You're still fired. You're
Fired.
fired. You're still fired.
And you're not coming back.
You're not coming back.
Nobody cares. Bye, girl.
Nobody cares. Nobody
Bye.
cares.
Yeah.
Who
That is a
cares?
who to F.
Who cares that Too Short likes mixed women?
It was the way he had said it. So people tried to come at Sweetie, and if you saw that clip, you could tell she was a little embarrassed, and she had said something to where she said, all races are beautiful, or something like all different shades of black are beautiful. They try to say she was being a colorist, but really she wasn't. It was your boy Too Short. You like what you like, that's fine, but like it's just something about when a black man says I have a preference for mixed women just doesn't sit well with me. I don't know. It just I don't know.
I'm shocked. That's who they picked.
But I get it.
They all look alike.
I get it.
You like what you like, I get it, but you don't have to like broadcast it out, because how people are, social media. We gonna take it and we'll be like, he only like,
but that's
girl.
only if you will only hold it in if you care about what other people think about what you're saying. Like he don't care. I mean, he eventually apologized for it, but that's him hurting my feelings is not gonna stop him from liking half breed chicks. I don't want to say half breed chicks, but you know what I'm saying? Mixed chicks. That's what they said back in the 80s. Sorry, that was 1985.
Don't say that.
Disclaimer, that was a 1985 reference. We no longer say half breed, and
they don't say that. No.
We no
Yeah,
longer
my
say
thing is, who cares? That's
cares?
Just like Chris Brown saying that he only want to date light-skinned chicks. Who cares? That's your preference.
You know what, Starr? I honestly believe, Naomi, maybe you can chime in. I honestly believe these celebrities do it because of other celebrities. It's like if they met a chocolate sister, or even a thick chick, they're not going to walk the red carpet with her because those women are not accepted by that society. Everybody has, and I've said this on the show before, those Kim K cutouts, the same, the hair, the snatched waist, the big full lips, the big eyes, the big ass, like all of
Are
that.
you saying the black features, but on a non-black body?
But not
There
on
you
a
go,
non-black.
sis.
Absolutely. But they would not, I would say Chris Brown probably wouldn't look at any of us.
We too dark for him.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that hurt
Or my hair
feelings
is too,
because
it does
love
hurt.
him.
It does hurt.
I love him. I was like, but you know, honestly, I can definitely empathize with people who say it doesn't matter or that's what he likes, but it's obviously a problem just because of white supremacy and because of slavery. Because it's like, you don't hear other races saying that. And as a people, we were taught to hate ourselves. So when you see someone out there just proclaiming that they would prefer another race, the common argument is you don't hear people from other races saying that. You can have a preference. You can say, hey, you know, I like to date different types of people. Like, I don't want to just, you know, try to lock myself into one culture, whatever, however you want to justify it. But it's the fact that because as a people, we was raised different. And that's not even saying it in a good way. Like, we came from being slaves. Like, so we are in a unique position where we're the only ones, at least, you know, in terms of this conversation and this culture, that had it beat into us that we're not good enough for just being who we are. So it's like, now you're just falling victim to that.
So shout out to everybody who's watching us live on Facebook. Yo, the comments are killing me right now.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about. It's
Jackie Pace said, go ahead with his ugly ass. They can have him.
Wait, what you say?
Thank you, Jackie. I understand. He's not my preference either. I mean, so it's okay.
But I ain't gonna cap. I loved him. I loved him.
Right.
I love him.
I don't. All right, here's another one, and we got 8 minutes to this one. NBA baller Kyrie Irving. What was the movie he played? Uncle what?
Drew.
Uncle Drew.
Oh,
that's him.
Uncle Drew is not gonna play basketball. He's done because he refused to take his vaccine. He refused to get the COVID vaccine. So he was like, I'm still paid. So y'all can kick rocks. I'm still Uncle Drew. Do you think that the players should be made to take the COVID vaccine? I know that this is not a sports show, but
I don't know about being made to. Well,
I don't like the idea of being forced to take a vaccine that barely works.
And
it does work.
I say that for personal reasons, though. So, and from experience from other people, and it works up to a certain time.
Everybody's body's different.
But so I mean, it's up to him. Like, I don't like the idea of being, you have to do this. You know, I don't like, especially with something still so new. It should be a choice. Now, in his field, being that he does travel so much and he's around so many different people, I understand it, but it should still, you know, and I see where they're coming from. Like, you got to protect the other players and the other people on the team and, you know, fans, like whatever. I get that part. I understand that part 120%. But the idea of like, you have to do so you'll lose your job. I don't like that at all. I just don't. I don't like it.
I think remember, everything that these businesses do is to save the business.
Yeah,
it's to save the business. I'll never forget working for Radio One, and it was a blizzard outside, and they put us in a hotel, and they were like, "We're going to pick you up from the hotel." And I was like, "Oh, they really care." And somebody was like, "They don't give a damn about you. That's so that your ass to be at work on time." So it ain't about they care about you, put you in no hotel.
Yeah, well, I thought that was nice. Most of us go home. They don't come and pick you up. You go home and you got to make it the next day. And I mean, on time.
Ain't that essential?
Right.
So they made y'all pretty essential to the business. I think Radio One did. But in terms of Kyrie or whoever, I would say to the next ball player, if he doesn't want to take the shot, up next. Who's up next?
Right. You.
Let's take somebody else.
I honestly thought you were going to say up yours. I really
so many
thought you
people
were
that
going to
want
say that. I didn't think you were going to say up next. I was like,
up, no. I wouldn't do that. I mean, I respect the brother's, you know, his convictions and how he feels about taking it. But you know, when they're saying that, when we've seen it, that it's a disease that affects people, and people have been dying from it. And so now they created something, and you might not like what they created or whatever. But if you look at other diseases that have occurred, like polio, we don't see that around. But it took them years to make a vaccine for that. But we used to have to get these vaccinations before we went to school, and everybody abide by that, every parent, and they eradicated those diseases that we don't see. So now that we have the technology that we have, and things are moving at warp speed because we have the technology to get it done.
It was a global issue. That's the thing. It was everybody got it. Like, it wasn't just like it affected a certain demographic. Everybody got, rich people got it. That's what it was like, oh no, we gotta fix this.
Yeah, we gotta fix it. Yeah. Well, if he doesn't want to do it for him, I can understand for himself. And but if he doesn't want
he
to,
could just make another Uncle Drew movie. I mean, since he's at home not doing nothing.
Or just invest in real estate. I mean, come on.
He'll be fine. Him and Dave Chappelle be good.
He'll be good.
So here's another one. I need to know how many of us could relate to the ladies' night video on SNL.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
How many of us was Kim or the lady with the shoes?
I am both Kim.
I am lactose intolerant as well. I was all those women.
I get sleepy at 9 o'clock.
I don't even. It's hard for
she
me to
was
push
like, "There's just so much damn traffic.
There's so much traffic. Gotta get back. We gotta request Uber right now.
So much traffic."
When Kim
That's
fell
me, man.
On the little couch, I said, "That is me." Like, I really be yawning and sleep.
I had my power nap and I'm ready to. Girl, no, let's go. It's time to go. It's like, what time is it? 9:30.
Yeah,
that's me.
I tell you what, you ring my doorbell at 7:30 unannounced. I'm like, well, who rings somebody's doorbell at 7:30 in the evening? What's wrong with you?
You better catch me before the harness is off. Catch me before the harness is off.
Right. Listen. When I take the harness off, boom.
It's a wrap.
It's over. I
don't want to do it no more.
Right. Yeah. Right. So that was
y'all know me. I'm a girl about town. I go everywhere, but I'll be like, no.
Yeah, I saw LaShawn. I almost wrecked my car. I saw LaShawn outside. I was like,
you know, I wasn't in them COVID streets for a little bit.
Nah,
but you know, I'm vaccinated now, so I go out a little bit.
So we got some shouts. We got Tammy Thompson. That's my spiritual twin. Tammy Thompson is checking in. Jackie Page checking in. Hey, Miss Jackie. Beautiful silver hair. I love her. Jackie May is checking in as well. Vaughn Sanders says, I feel like Chappelle just wants equal rights. The LGBTQ community has a better platform than African Americans. Okay. And the Shade Queen is checking in as well. Shout out to the Shade Queen. My so sweet Ish Joy is checking in as well. What up, Ish? Yeah, so we are live on Facebook right now. So make sure you stay close because we're going to take a quick break. We have two guests in the studio. We have two Hey Girl, Hey spotlights. We have Naomi Ritter of the Finesse Institute. She's going to talk about World Food Day. This is where everybody eat. No, that's not what it's talking about. So
you get a meal. You get a meal. You get a meal.
Popeyes for everybody. No. And then we have Starr Essence, who is the founder and president of Morningstar International, also the author of Guide Me to College. So if you have a high school senior, maybe even a junior thinking about going to college, she has some tips for you. So make sure you check in. We are going to take a quick break. This is the Hey Girl, Hey podcast, Urban Media Today. Hold tight. Hey girl, hey.
Hey.
We are back. We have two special guests, Naomi Ritter of the Finesse Institute and Starr Essence, the founder and president of Morningstar International, author of Guide Me to College. So we have two Hey Girl spotlights today. First 15, we're going to send it over to Naomi Ritter, who is, I believe Finesse Institute is partnering with the EAT Initiative, correct? And World Food Day is happening this Saturday. So let's get to you real quick. What is World Food Day and why is Pittsburgh such a significant city to host World Food Day?
Thank you for asking. So World Food Day is a global recognition of food and access and hunger around the world. It was started by the Food and Agriculture Organization under the United Nations. So it's a global celebration. The reason why it sort of came back up now is because while Trump was in office, you know, he withdrew from the United Nations and all of that. So we were actually one of the few countries last year that was not participating in the global celebration of World Food Day. In terms of Pittsburgh locally, in 2016, the Pittsburgh Food Policy Council, which is a partner of ours with the EAT Initiative, they were the first organization, to my knowledge, to bring World Food Day to Pittsburgh. They had a really huge event. They, you know, did some like hunger exercises and just, you know, brought awareness to food insecurity. That was in 2016. 2020 happens, a pandemic hits, and Chef Claudie decides that now's the time to start the party again, and it's time to bring it back. So
that sounds like Claudie.
You already know. He was like, "Oh, we need to shake this up real quick." Y'all already.
He was on our show.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
You already know. Let's go.
Exactly. So then, you know, he decided, hey, it's a pandemic. The EAT Initiative has been serving meals throughout the entire pandemic, making sure everybody gets food. And it was also last year, the 75th anniversary of World Food Day. So it was kind of just like the stars were aligned, and it was the perfect time to bring the celebration back to Pittsburgh in partnership with the city, with the Pittsburgh Food Policy Council, with 412 Food Rescue, with a whole bunch of different food organizations in the city. So that was last year, the 75th anniversary. It was cool because we did a tri-state celebration. We did partner with the Haitian American Caucus in New York City and the Black Food Collective in Oakland, California. And we had a tri-state virtual celebration in addition to an in-person celebration where we had partnered with One Hood Media and HereCore and a lot of different people. So we did virtual and online, virtual and in person. So this year we're doing it again, bringing it back. We're going to have the same concept. It's going to be virtual and it's going to be in person. The virtual component has a really nice panel that's hosted by Natalie Bensavanga, and there's a lot of different people who are involved in the food support and food access work. They're going to be hosting a panel. There's a couple pre-recorded cooking demonstrations. We're going to have a cooking demonstration with our chefs in Pittsburgh, and I think some of our partner cities are also going to be doing some demonstrations. And simultaneously, we're also going to be doing programming on the ground at the Shop and Save parking lot, 1850 Center Avenue. There's going to be a stage. We got a stage donated. We're trying to get, there's activities for kids. We're going to be giving out meals and produce boxes sponsored by the United Way. And we're just going to have a party. DJ Big Phil was in the house this year. He's going to be spinning.
Yes.
So Henry Band is back. They were here last year. So we're just going to party. Like, we're partying, we're raising money for food insecurity. And our ultimate goal for all of this is to turn Pittsburgh into the first food secure city in the country. So that's why we need everybody to come together, celebrate, support, donate money, because we're just trying to get all hands on deck so we can literally, like y'all said, feed people. You get a meal, you get a meal. Like that's literally what we're trying to do. So I try to say all of it. Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you, Naomi, so you said so that Pittsburgh can be one of the most food secure cities in the country. Why was it not? Like, do we have too many people and not enough food? Too much food and not enough people? Not enough, or we have too many people that can't afford the food. So what's the combination with that? Why is that?
So honestly, the way I would approach that question is the same way you would understand why people who live in certain neighborhoods, their schools are not as good because of the taxes are not being paid there. Black and brown neighborhoods, we don't always have access to grocery stores. We got to take 2 buses. I'm at the Energy Innovation Center right now on the Hill. We had a grocery store, thankfully we have one coming back now with Salem's, but there's no grocery store. What I mean? A lot of our neighborhoods, we got to take 2 buses. We have to do all this. And it's like that strategically all over the country. And as we know, it's even worse in other countries. So there is to my knowledge, there's no city in this country that is food secure. I believe at a point, I think like there was a city in Brazil, which was like one of the only food secure cities in the world. And so because there are no food secure cities in Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh is such a food advocate, we're like, okay, y'all need to put your money where your mouth is. There's enough of us who are involved in food advocacy locally, and enough of us who are involved in community engagement in partnership with the city and with policymakers where we could make this happen. So that's just really, what we're trying to do right now. Exactly. I see Miss Jackie talking about food deserts. Yep. And McKees Rocks. Exactly. She's saying there's only one grocery store and it's an Aldi. And that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Wow.
I'm from Homewood. Yep, no grocery stores. And you don't even realize it until someone brings it to your attention. Because that's just, at least for me, you know, that's just how I grew up. Like going to the corner store, eating quick meals, eating fast food. And then when I went to college is when I realized like, oh, people really be just having home cooked meals every day and they can get food instantly. Like that's a thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, but it's how we're conditioned. It's strategic.
You know, you have the people want these things. I don't understand. Why is it so difficult for these neighborhoods, preferably the urban neighborhood? I know this, but just for someone who wants to ask this question, why is it that Hazelwood, Homewood, McKees Rocks, why is it East Hills? Why don't they? Well, East Hills has the Giant Eagle. Why don't they have? It's so easy for them to put a Shop and Save or a Giant Eagle or Save a Lot or whatever in these other neighborhoods, but not like Wilkinsburg has a Save a Lot, but
we don't even got $1.
But
like, we don't.
Why aren't there are people who are working? There are people who even have assistants. You know what I mean? So there's money there. I don't understand what's the issue.
Like I said, it's the same reason why in our neighborhoods, the school districts aren't as good. They don't get funded as well. The taxes, or not the taxes, but it's harder to get a home and own a home in our neighborhoods. It's strategic. It's because of not only just like gentrification, but what's the other word? Gerrymandering. You know, like it's just the way they set up these neighborhoods. And it is mind blowing when you go to more affluent neighborhoods. It's a whole different world. They got 3 different grocery stores and a Wendy's with high class French fries. They got all types of options.
High class French fries.
Listen,
Yeah, but
go
she said the high class joints.
Go to the Wendy's in the suburbs.
Which
That
one?
will be fresher. It don't matter. Not all of them. Mount Lebanon, all of them. The food
They
is
got
better.
them duck, what's the duck oil fried fries or whatever, 3 times whatever.
They got the fresh oil. They got the
fresh
fresh
oil. So
So
shouts to
real quick-
Tammy Thompson. No, go ahead, because she had a
No. I was
Tammy
about to
Thompson
say
had
the
a
same
comment.
thing. Yep. I was about to bring Tammy and Miss Jackie into the chat because they were saying some good stuff. So go ahead.
So Jackie said we do the same work in our communities with the same organizations. We need to work more closely. Something's popping up. Dang on it. Come on now. We need to work more closely and help these places. Tammy says retailers determine where they will place a store based on area median income of the community. If it's low income community, there isn't enough income to sustain it. But they depend on duck fries. That's right. Duck fat. That's what it was. Those are some good fries too. But anyway, but we're the ones that needs it. We're the ones that spend our money to go and
Because we ain't got no
I
choice.
get it. That's so crazy to me.
And I appreciate Miss Jackie and Miss Tammy bringing this in because as we know, Miss Jackie, you know, she has a Love Rocks Cafe. She's killing it. Tammy is a
Shouts
poverty
to Love Rocks
expert,
Cafe.
So exactly.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like we all got to work together to eradicate food insecurity.
That part, that we have to work together. We are not, we are the main ones that will tear each other down. We don't support. We don't support. We'll shut it down. We'll talk bad. We'll spread rumors. And we don't. And it kills us. And we see it. We see that it happens, and yet we still watch it. I mean, Sugar and Smoke is a prime example. It's not a grocery store, but it was a restaurant.
Yeah.
And shout out to Andrea because she's still hustling out here. She's still trying to bring back a couple other projects. So make sure y'all raise her up as well because she's like, listen, y'all ain't seen the last of me yet. And that's
well, good. But I was like,
Absolutely,
I really hope this stays. I really hope it stays. And it didn't.
Yeah.
It's even where you guys are having the even where the event's going to be, where the Shop and Save is on the hill, you know, that was a grocery store staple there. But just as fast as the trucks would pull in to put something into the store, they were being taken them out before it got into the store. Yeah, you know, so sometimes we're our own worst enemies when it comes to that, you know, and against our own businesses.
Yeah, and I agree with that, and I hear y'all, but it's like I just always feel like it's not the same. Like we don't have the same resources. Like we have been historically poor and broke and last in line. So it's not like we got the same starting line and now we're like, oh, we're always doing this to ourselves. Like we're hungry, and I ain't saying it's right. I'm just saying we don't have the same
We
starting
don't got
point.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Well,
just the few that makes it bad. It's not everybody, so it
no,
shouldn't.
no.
It doesn't
And I don't
reflect
think it's fair
everybody
that these
at all.
families have to
Not
suffer.
fair.
These families
It's
have to
not.
go without. There are
Right.
still families out there that's catching jitneys because you can't afford the Uber, or you're catching a jitney, or you're catching a bus to head over to the grocery store, and you can only do so much because you can't carry all the bags.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just not fair.
That's a
It's
whole
not
different
fair.
fight.
Yeah. And
We
you
were
have
young.
senior citizens in the area and they can't get out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And
So
they can't even carry all the bags, all the cans and milk. That stuff is heavy.
It
Like
is.
on a bus, what if your bag breaks?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a done deal.
That happened to
Okay.
us. We was carrying bags up the hills when we first moved to Hazelwood, and we ain't have no car. We had to catch the bus, and one of the bags busted open, and all the cans rolled down the hill. My brother and I was chasing them down there. Luckily, we got
Exactly. That's money. You're tired. Come on.
Yeah.
Monica said you have to have. Monica says you have multiple trips. So I'm that person that I'm gonna lose my fingers. I will put 50 bags.
One trip.
Because I'm not going back. I'm not
all
Put
the
them
way
on
up
your
your
wrist.
arm to
You're like,
your
"Ooh."
shoulder like a purse.
Come off
So
my
you
hands,
just
be
got
like,
to roll up the bag. Yep.
Put it on your back
fingers
like
be
a
all
backpack.
swollen. So how can we watch World Food Day? How can we access it? How can we we have 3 minutes? How can we support it? How can we participate? How can we give? What can we do?
Yes, so there are multiple ways. We're going to be in person in the Shop and Save parking lot in the Hill District, 1850 Center Avenue from 10 to 3. Please pull up on us just to show your love and support, dance, vibe. You know, we'll be there with the food. If for whatever reason you can't come out, we will be streaming live on Facebook. Now, again, the Facebook programming is a little different from the in-person programming, but it's still a vibe no matter which way. You can visit us online at eatworldfoodday.org, and I can leave that in the comments as well. And then we have a text to give, which I'll leave in the comments because I don't want to mess up the number. But the quickest way to donate and to contribute would be probably to text to give or to donate online. But if it's not even a financial donation, we're always looking for partners in the food advocacy community. I see Tammy in the comments saying that, you know, she's in meetings with people who are really trying to bring food, you know, bring food back. And it's true. Like, you know, people are really working together to eradicate food insecurity. And it's almost like the perfect storm because Pittsburgh is such a food city. And because we're so nonprofit heavy, it's like, okay, you working on this, you working on this, and we're constantly finding ways to make it work. So yes, thank you for dropping that. Eatworldfoodday.org. We're going to be live on Facebook. A lot of partners are involved. Pull up on us on Saturday, please, everybody. And yeah, just thank you. You know what I mean? That's what we're doing.
Appreciate you, Naomi. You could definitely tell she worked with Claudia because she done said pull up like 18,000 times. Just pull up, yo. Just like pull up, like for real.
Pull up. That's
like
Claudia.
just pull up. Like, you know, what up? Blue five.
Pull up. I don't know about that.
There she go. All right, here we go. So we're going to stick to the community. We're going to stay in the community. If you have a young teen, or maybe you yourself are looking to go to college, but you're kind of hesitant. So our next guest, her name is Starr Essence. She is the founder and president of Morning Star International, which is an organization empowering, equipping, and educating youth and adults to succeed in a global economy. There's more to it. She's gonna give you her website and all the things to get in touch with her. But we're gonna talk to you. I'm gonna act like you're right here in front of me. Talk to you about your book called Guide Me to College: 10 Vital Steps Every Urban Youth Need for College. So thank you so much, Starr, for being here.
Thank you guys for having me.
What do you think the biggest misstep is made from African Americans when considering college education?
The biggest, in my opinion, is a lot of times we think we have to wait until high school to prepare for college. And that's the wrong thing that we've been taught for many centuries, probably even decades, that you have to wait until you get into a certain level in life or in high school or at a certain age to prepare for college. The real thing that you should do is actually prepare your child for college at a younger age, like 5th grade, 4th grade, maybe at 3 years old. You should start introducing college to them so that they can be more prepared for college. And a lot of times we wait to the last minute as African Americans to try to prepare for college and then expect that we're going to get a free ride to any college that we choose to go to.
So tell me about these steps, the 10 vital steps. Tell us about the book and what
So
you offer in the book.
Yeah, so the 10 vital steps is step number one. A lot of times we forget why do we want to go to college? What is the main reason why you want to go to college? Are you going to college for yourself, or are you going because your mama, your daddy, your sister, your cousin told you need to go to college? So you need to understand why you want to go to college, because once you get into college, you're going to experience so many difficulties, challenges. You're going to have good times, bad times, rainy days, beautiful days. You're going to experience all of that. So once you understand your why, you can move to whole different levels in life. And even if you have a setback, guess what? You remember your why, you keep pushing on and going to the next step. So step number two is do your homework, research the college that you want to go to. A lot of times people just go to a college because their parents went to that college or their teacher told them, hey, you should go here. But a lot of times they get to a college campus and they realize, oh, I'm not a good fit, or this college doesn't mesh well with my personality or even my passion or purpose. So you get to that college, you're a freshman, you're like, okay, I'm new to this experience. And then your sophomore year, you can't afford it, or you drop out because guess what? You're not a good match for that college. So a lot of times I tell students and parents, you want to make sure that you give your child, or even yourself, if you choose to go to college as a non-traditional student, you want to make sure you go to that college campus so that you can get a feel and see if it's a good fit for who you are as an individual. And then you say, okay, now this is a good fit for me, so I'm going to go to this particular college.
Mhm.
So step number three, step number three is basically get other people to pay for your college education. A lot of times, 87% of college graduates have student loan debt. 87%. That's a lot.
Yeah, that
Me
is a
too.
lot.
Look, two hands.
Me.
I said I would pay off my house before I would
That's
pay my student
ridiculous.
loans.
That's
And
ridiculous.
my house is paid for.
87%.
That's crazy.
How many of us are
So just understand, like, a lot of us, and these are Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, 87% of college students have student loan debt. Only 90%, wait, I take that back. Only 10% of college students who attend college have scholarships and grants. Full ride out of all of them.
Wow.
Wow.
So you know how many are
90% of us-
African American? Do you know how many are African American?
It's slim, very, probably less than 5%.
And they would
get a
have to
full
be
ride.
in sports.
Most of them are in sports. You rarely get one that may have an full academic scholarship. It's very rare.
Okay. What's number four?
Number four, basically have a strategic success plan. So you want to have a success plan for your college education, which is a combination of why you want to go to college. You know, what are your career goals? Are you going there to get more information about business, or are you going there to work for somebody else? Like, you need to understand, why are you even going to college, and figure out which track you want to go. So if you want to work for somebody, you want to specialize in a certain career set or skill set. And then if you want to work for yourself, you need to understand business. You need to understand accounting, marketing, all those type of courses. So you want to go to college to get a full range of that information.
I don't want you to give all the types away or all the steps away, because I want people to get the book.
Right.
I want people to get the book. What prompted you to take this challenge and write the book? What was it that you saw? Was it an aunt, as a niece or a nephew or a little boy sitting on the corner like, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up? Like, was it something that prompted you to want to write the book?
Yeah, so I'm glad you asked that question. What really prompted me to write the book? So when I graduated from Tennessee State, it took me 11 months to find a career in my career field. 11 months. And this was back in 2004. So if it took me 11 months, then just imagine how long it's going to take the students now, or anybody who go to college. So
I know.
yeah, so just imagine that. So the reason why I actually wrote the book was because I found out that more African American students are further behind than any other race in America and probably the world. So I was like, how can I help my people and people who look like me and come from where I come from, to help them be more prepared than I ever felt, or any of my colleagues or friends ever felt. So that's why I wrote the book in 2017.
Going back to
Oh,
And
go ahead.
going back to what you had said about it took you 11 months, almost a year to find a career. And for me, it took me a lot longer than that. Do you feel like sometimes, especially African Americans, blame themselves for that happening? Like, oh, I didn't choose the right career. I mean, I didn't choose the right field. Or, oh, I should have, moved out of state. Or, oh, I should have, done it. How do you think that happens? Like why does that happen, especially to African Americans?
I think it's a combination of both. It's a combination of you as the individual, and then it's a combination of the school or education or career choice you actually chose. So say for an example, if you go to college, I'm gonna just use my hometown, Detroit, Michigan, and you go for psychology, right? There is not a lot of jobs right out of college for psychology. So how are you expecting to pay back $60,000 worth of debt with working in psychology when the starting pay is probably only $30,000 a year? If you get that,
and they're not telling you that.
No, they're
not. Of course not. They're not.
That's why you said do your homework. That's why you said do your homework.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to tell you that. When I graduated from college, the average rate for an accountant at that time was, I think, $35,000. So you telling me I just spent 4 years at college, and the average starting pay at that time was $35,000 for an accountant? You were lucky to get $40,000 right out of college.
Right. And that's the thing that bothers me. Is like we go to school, get good grades, get in type all these extracurricular activities and stuff like that, internships, externships, whatever, and they only want to pay $35,000 a year. That's not enough money. That's not enough money.
Yeah. To add on to what you just said, the thing is if you were to get an externship or internship while you're in college, matter of fact, your last year or your senior year in high school, you should get that externship or internship. You'll be making way more money than $40,000 come graduation because you have that experience. The thing why you only making $35,000 or $40,000 at that time as an accountant, because guess what? You don't have that much experience. But the more experience you have working in that field, the more money you make.
Yeah.
But is that just this market? Tammy just said it's one of the main reasons why we're losing young Black professionals to other states. Pittsburgh wages don't meet the cost of living plus student loan debt. Here's the thing. This is why people are leaving. This is why people are leaving, especially our younger people. This is why they're leaving our city. So it's just frustrating, because if you know this and you need this in your market, why are you not offering the pay? What's going on?
Because they can always find somebody who worked the same job for less. So even if the young people in Pittsburgh are moving to maybe a New York or maybe a DC or maybe even here in Atlanta, I don't know. But if they can find, that's the thing now anyway, find somewhere to work that pays more and then work that job for 2 years and then find something else and work that for 2 years, find something else, work that for 2 years and keep it going like that until it's almost time for retirement. That's what a lot of young people are doing right now, especially millennials. They're not staying at a job for 20 years anymore, or even 10.
Yeah. I was lucky enough to stay in my industry for almost 30 years.
There's no pension.
Sean, we got 5 minutes. Sean, we have like 5 minutes. Do you have a question? I definitely want to get her and Naomi's handles in, but I know you have a question because you're the reason Starr's here. So
yes, because I knew that Starr was going to write a book and do things like that. We both worked together for a company where we were trainers. So she's a natural at showing people and guiding people. So I knew that was going to happen for Starr. And one of the other things that she said too, Starr, you frozen? Because you kind of look like you just she froze. Oh, all right. But that's not a bad froze, because sometimes you can be frozen like, you don't want that. That's a good thing that Starr.
So come back.
Come on back now, Starra. But okay, but one of the thing that she said is about, getting our kids introduced to college way before. Like I love that they have those who does the trips, the college trips, the Black college tour.
Black
But they
college.
do it when they're in the 10th grade. 10th grade, you should already have your money settled. Who's going to pay for college? 10th grade. They should start those Black college tours, and this will help our Black colleges when they're like in the 5th, 6th grade. They should be touring Black colleges. I have a little cousin who knew that he was going to go to Bethune-Cookman, you know, whenever, because his mama was an alumni from Bethune-Cookman. So he was like, that's where I'm going to school. She said, you know, she would go to the homecoming. She did all that. That's where he wanted to go to school, you know, and he still has some ways, but you have to put it in their head. You have to get them started early in terms of education. And that's, you know, but some of us don't know. Some of our parents didn't know because they weren't educated. So this is a good thing. So I so appreciate my friend Starr.
Thank you, love.
For
Glad she
guiding
came
us
back.
through college.
We was like,
Starr, you was frozen.
Keep talking. She was
at the froze. It was just like,
she was playing green light, yellow light, red light, stop. So there's so much information, and we appreciate everybody who checked in. Tammy has so many questions and comments. Last comment, I love this workforce revolution that's happening right now. People are over it and are moving along. I love that. I love the fact that our younger people, our millennials, are not afraid to pursue whatever dream they see before them and ask every question. You know, our generation, we're just kind of like cautious, like, well, I don't really know. And you know, Naomi and Jeremy like, what time is it? What time is Starr? When I need to be there? Let's go. Pull up.
Exactly. Yeah, we get straight to the point.
Y'all just pulling up.
We be like, so on the pulling up. So for the pulling up, this is me and LaShawn. So the pulling up part, do we pull up on the side? Do we pull up on the front? Do we, you know, how do we do that?
I'll
send me an email. Drop me an email and let me know.
Shoot me directions.
Naomi, is this on MapQuest or can I put this?
Google
MapQuest.
Map, you know.
That insurance company commercial. In the parking lot talking about parking at the football game. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. All right. So
we're turning into our parents.
We are turning into our parents. So I thank you, Starr and Naomi, for being with us today. Naomi, give us the information one more time for World Food Day and the time we need to tune in on Facebook or on the link, what time we need to watch all the festivities.
Yes, so World Food Day will be occurring from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on
Saturday.
October 6th. Yep, this Saturday. We're going to be in person at the Shop and Save parking lot in the Hill District, 1850 Center Avenue, and on Facebook Live on our Facebook page. So tune in. I'm about to drop the how to text to donate in the chat. And if you want, visit eatworldfoodday.org for more information. And as always, you all can hit me up, you know, DMs, text, call, whatever, if you want to learn more how to get involved. And last thing I'll say, because I did forget to mention this earlier, and thank you to Monica for putting in the comments, we're still looking for volunteers. So if you do want to get involved, but you're not able to do it from a monetary standpoint, please reach out to us because we need volunteers for Saturday because we're trying to make it a big thing and we need a couple more hands on deck. So yes, thank you for that.
All right. Thank you. And Starr, how can we reach you? How do we get a copy of the book? How do we learn more about the Morning Star International? Give us all the deets there.
Awesome sauce. Well, you can follow me.
Awesome sauce. I like her.
You can follow me at Starr Essence on Facebook and Instagram. You can get the book. I don't know if you guys can see that, but you can get the book Guide Me to College on staressence.com. Also too, I am doing a free college workshop next Saturday on October 23rd from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time via Zoom and Facebook Live through Morningstar International. So to sign up for that event, you can either go to my page or you can actually go to Eventbrite and just look up Morningstar International event page and you'll find it there. Also, too, you can learn more about Morningstar at Morningstar INTL at Twitter, Facebook, and the Instagram.
And she's not talking Morningstar, the meat, the veggie burger.
No,
she's not talking about that.
Morningstar International, the youth organization.
She's like, no,
Not the,
She's like, I
not the
know.
vegan
Not the
burger.
burgers. Not the burgers. They're not that
You
bad.
know, them black bean burgers is fire.
Fire.
Listen,
They is
fire.
Now, also
healthy.
too, I want to add on to on November 6th, Morningstar International, we're actually doing a huge event. It's called the I Am a Star Youth Summit. It's for ages 9 and up. Parents are welcome. It's free. Parents fee is $5. It will be virtual via Zoom and on Facebook Live. But this event, you're going to be able to win scholarships. You're also going to be able to, we're giving away 3 scholarships, 3 $500 scholarships to any students open to the public. So you have to compete for that particular scholarship. You can send your 30-second pitch to info@reachastar.org, info@reachastar.org to submit your 30-second video before October 23rd. But you'll get a chance to win $500 to help you go to any college of your choice, or if you want to start a business, it can go towards that too. So, yeah.
awesome.
Okay. All right. Well, cool. Thank you so much, Starr and Naomi, for being on the show.
Sorry,
We appreciate
Naomi.
you so much information. We got the
Thank you,
finesse
guys.
chick and the awesome sauce chick.
Awesome.
That's your name. She is the awesome sauce.
Awesome
Chick.
sauce chick.
Awesome sauce.
Star chick.
Crisscross applesauce. All right. So this is the Hey Girl Hey podcast. We're on streaming. Apple Podcasts, Podbean, everywhere, SoundCloud. Just look for us. We're there.
We're
all
everywhere.
the information, just find us. We're there. I'm the radio chick, Kiki Brown.
And I'm the chatter chick, LaShawn.
And I'm your millennial chick, Ginger.
Finesse chick, awesome sauce chick.
Next chick, Nikki.
Awesome.
That
Yes.
part.
Yeah.
Period.
It's a wrap. Peace.
We're out.